So if you're even like a little into history, you're probably aware that there's never really been a lack of, well, complete sexual deviance at any point. Like, can you believe that there were Romans that literally had toilets in their own home? Like, what sort of sick fucking perv? We have the biggest coomer, gooner, fucking pervert. I am just straight up giving him the award. He has the title Le Marquis de Sade, aka the namesake for the words sadism and sadist. Yeah. Sade was a French aristocrat born in the mid-1700s, and the dude had a reputation for treating prostitutes the way that Ford F-150 treated your runaway cat when you were 6. He spent 32 years of his life in prison for various sex crimes, and his first big scandal was, well, it was actually pretty light. He just, let me see here, lured a street beggar into his house before proceeding to tie her to a couch and pour hot wax onto her body while flogging her. He followed this up by drugging various prostitutes with Spanish fly and then making surprise love to them while they were immobilized.
Game is game.
And dude, that one is particularly bad. Like, bro, you are rich as shit, and they are literally people that have sex for money. Just fucking pay them! Anyway, so because of all that, he had to flee to Italy, and while that was happening, the French government sentenced him to death, and he was pretty quickly caught and imprisoned in Savoy before escaping after like 2 months. After escaping, he hid out in his castle in southeast France, where, surprisingly, he continued to commit just the worst crimes against God imaginable. He started employing minor, you know the story, blah blah blah, dream, blah blah blah, court, blah blah, flee to Italy. Again, you get the goddamn point. So because at this point, Sade was basically the French equivalent of that annoying fucking homeless dude that won't get out of your fucking attic! Get the fuck out! So the French government kind of just told him his mum was about to be
D-E-D, ripperoni pepperoni.
And then when he came back to see her, they threw his ass in the dungeon, and that was the end of Le Marquis de Sade. Do you guys like my French pronunciation I've been practicing? Oui, oui. Except no, of course it wasn't the end, because France has this little thing called dumbass unwashed masses, and what goes better than a lawless state and a psychopathic pedophile? I mean, really, they go together like chocolate and peanut butter, to be honest, or your fucking mum and—
Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for—
And so they freed Sade in 1790 after a 13-year prison stay. By the way, while he was in prison, he wrote what has been called the most impure tale ever written. 120 Days of Sodom. I really cannot get into details, but basically imagine Lolita, I think that's how you pronounce it, but like 10, no, like 100 times worse. And of course there are people that call it a classic.
I heard you's a pedophile, nigga. I heard you like little boys and girls.
But the story's good. Yeah, well, so is prison this type of year. This time of year.
I'm looking out for you. Just stop speaking, bro. Just stop.
Wait,
okay.
Somebody was me.
Fuck me.
Anywho, obviously in this lawless state that detached as many heads as horny praying mantises, this vile piece of garbage wouldn't last a day. Street justice is totally gonna take care of him. His cranium's gonna be gone within an hour of his release. Maybe at best, he could live a few years in poverty, stripped of his wealth and land. I mean, it's not like literal, uneducated, unwashed peasants typically make bad decisions, right? You are fucking kidding. But eventually this little Corsican dude took over and kind of sorted out this whole fandango by throwing Sade in jail with no trial. And that really was the end of Marquis de Sade. Wait. Why are you fading out like that? This actually was the end. Like, he rotted away in a mental asylum until he died in, like, 1814. Sade more like tough. Okay, guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you— oh, shit, wait. The video isn't even 5 minutes. Oh, I have to talk about other people too. So that was pretty fucked up. So let's talk about some absolutely goofy maxed shit. Let's talk about the serial edger, aka the edgelord, as some people, me, like to call him, aka the man that wrote like half of the most famous children's books ever, Hans Christian Andersen, famous for writing books like The Ugly Duckling, The Little Mermaid, and The Snow Queen, which is the loose inspiration for Frozen. Wow, isn't that so wholesome and nice, right? Yeah, well, anyway, one of his favorite pastimes was smacking the absolute goonie out of his shit. Crazy style, bro. Man, he is just like...
Are you serious, my brother?
I'm sorry, little kid.
We actually know this because he kept a fucking diary where he would record his, frequent activities, including the fact that he would go to brothels and just kind of talk to the prostitutes creepily. I imagine like cloaked in the darkness of the room in the corner, like some sort of Lord of the Rings character or some sort of disguised warlock. Anyway, and after he did that, he ran back home to deep stroke his Johnson, but he apparently had a pretty awful childhood considering The Ugly Duckling was literally based on his childhood experiences. So essentially, this dude was basically just the 1800s equivalent of the average guy that watches this shit. So because I'm a huge advocate of gender equality, of course, 6'2", by the way, and let me get out the ruler. Let me just put that there. We have one for the ladies, all the ladies out there. Shout out to all 8% of you. Before I get into this, I must preface by stating that many records of specific Roman figures are very misleading or downright false due to frequent slander by political rivals. Take everything I say with a grain of salt and make sure to do your own research. Don't pull the Elagabalus bullshit. Don't tell me about how, most likely this is fictitious due to the fact that I know! Anyway, Messalina was the wife of Roman Emperor Claudius because the guy just could not catch a break. Messalina would publicly cheat on Claudius constantly, including her alleged habit of sneaking out every night to go work at low-class brothels. Well, that sounds familiar. Including an incident in which she apparently had a competition with the most famous street wench in Rome to see who could handle the most shaft in one day, and she won. Eventually, her constant cheating did catch up to her, though, because Claudius eventually had her and her lover executed because she planned to marry the guy publicly while still married to Claudius. Shit, Claudius, since you're my boy and all, I'll put you on game. Listen to Chief Keef, love no thoughties.
I think my chopper gay. I pulled him out the closet.
I like to get my dick sucked while I'm getting
Anyway, speaking of cows, next up we have Ibrahim I, or Ibrahim the Mad, the 18th Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, aka the OG BBW Hunter, the BBW Slayer. Fuck the Bulgar Slayer, we rock with the BBW Slayer. Apparently one time Buddy was just checking out some cows in a field and he liked what he saw.
It's pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am.
In fact, he liked it so much, he had the cow's lower area erected in gold and shipped around the entire empire before asking his guards to track down a woman that was similarly endowed. So his guards drag this 350-pound behemoth back to the Sultan's palace, where she becomes the favorite member of his harem.
Did you want to see men kissing? You like men?
I got to have you, babe.
Aww. Until he had all 280 of the women in his harem drowned randomly. I mean, he is called the Mad for a reason, which reminds me, why is this Ibrahim the First? That implies that there was an Ibrahim the Second. Who named themselves or their kid after this guy? So, because he just absolutely begged me to be in this video so much, like seriously, take a look at this. Ed, description, name, take it away, go get him, Tiger, and I swear to God, if any of you leave, I will show up to your house and touch your cat. Do not screw up my watch time. Okay, bye.
So this is a script that I certainly never wanted to write, but I do think that one of history's biggest freaks was Napoleon Bonaparte. And although I thought the Ridley Scott's film showcased it far too much, there was some accuracy in it, for him being, for lack of a better word, a simp. When the guy was in Egypt, word reached him that his wife Josephine was being unfaithful, and he was distraught and sent some very mopey letters to his brother complaining about being cucked. And these were actually intercepted by a British ship and published in London newspapers. But Napoleon would forgive her pretty much instantly because it's important to get along with your wife's boyfriend. And you can find lots of very saucy letters between the couple, with Napoleon once saying, "Josephine, I'll be back in 3 days. Do not wash."
I take the ball, I bounce it, I shoot, I miss.
Come on, man. Imagine if that had been captured and published in London as well. That would genuinely be the best thing in history. But not everything's perfect. Yeah, okay, bye.